Well, Benny's there, but there's nothing on my screen. Who's this person? Who's up, Rabbi?
Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Welcome to I think it's week 6 of the Hachono. We'll be starting very, very shortly. We're just waiting for a few more people to onboard. So we'll start in approximately about 5 minutes. So make yourselves comfortable. Get yourself a tea or a coffee if you would like. And we'll start very, very soon.
Who's here?
Okay. Somebody can nod if they hear me. Yeah? Okay, very good.
We can hear you,
For you guys, good evening. By me, it's good afternoon. The liquid is clear, but it's water in the meantime.
Welcome, everybody. Let me just quickly introduce Rabbi Kantor. For those of you who don't know who Rabbi Kantor is.
It's good to go back and visit one of my countries. Country of my
a fellow
side of the family back down under. And we have, I guess to get into it, I can't seem to get my screen to tell me to be able to see people. I don't know why, but okay, good. Now, how do I get rid of it so I can read what I prepared? Good. We'll learn a sikha together, and then we'll fabring a little bit. So, you know, the situation that we're in is bichlal a very, very unique one. And one of the uniquenesses of it is that Baruch Hashem, none of the core things that pertain to our Yiddishkeit, that pertain to our connection with the Eibishter, was taken away from us. Throughout, people have been able to do essential things. The question is, what's essential? As you see, the big to-do in New York, obviously the mayor of New York, doesn't think, he thinks certain things are essential, certain things aren't. There's a big uproar there. But we all know for a Yid what's essential. Essentially, a Yid should be able to keep Shabbos. There was never a problem to keep Shabbos during this whole, unless somebody was in Atzala, it was really no issue to keep Shabbos. You can keep Shabbos. You couldn't go to shul, but you can keep Shabbos. There was no issue to get married. You could get married during most of this period. You could get married if you're ready to have 2 Eidim and a minyan and a chas and kala. No problem. You get married. So on and so forth. The ikar ha'inyanim, the core of whatever we needed to do, Baruch Hashem was still available. Supermarkets were open all time, at least in the countries I followed, and there was never any threat to the essence of what we needed. The only thing is all of the trappings, all of the things we're used to in terms of our Yiddishkeit, in terms lahavdil, in terms just of our regular life, our chumrizdika life. Restaurants were closed and so on and so forth. When it comes to our ruchnizdika things, so there's also some things, most things, the nekuda ikris was there. When it comes to the way we express ourselves in our ruchnizdika life, we did have, and we still have, certain challenges that are very different. One of those being, you know what, let's jump into the sikha and we'll go into what those challenges may be and how the Rebbe addresses them in the Chatchila. So, why can't I see? Do you see my screen? The sikha of Shlach? Someone get a nod? Did I share it? Ah, you see it?
We can see, yeah.
Let's just learn in Taich in the good old-fashioned way. Parshas HaShavua. This is a sikha from Tafshin Yud, so it's within the first year after the Stalkers, after Yud Shvat. And Bashkacha Pratis, it addresses what we need to hear on Shabbos Varchim Tammuz, which for us is the Shabbos, this coming Shabbos is before the Shabbos of the Hilula. So Parshas HaShavua, Mesupar, it tells us in the Parshas HaShavua, the Shlichus HaMeraglim, Vayishlach HaShamei, so Losser Zetz Canaan, Moshe sent the Meraglim to go and spy out the land of Canaan. Vayalu, Vayosuru, and they went and they looked at Canaan, Vayoshuva, Mitoras, they came back from scouting the land, Vayoshivu, Esam Dava Vayisapu, and then they replied. And they told the story. When the Meraglim finished this story, Vayas, Kolev jumped in and made everybody quiet. Which is very difficult to understand because Kolev makes them quiet even before they said we can't go up to Eretz Yisrael. They hadn't said anything bad yet. They were giving exactly what they were asked to do. They were giving a report. Why did Kolev find the need to make them quiet? The words of the Meraglim were answers, truthful answers. There were answers to the queries that Moshe had given regarding 2 general fields of inquiry. One, what kind of people are there? Check out the people that are there. Are they strong? Are they weak? And they answered about that. The people are strong. And the cities are very fortified. That was one area of query. The second inquiry that Moshe Rabbeinu asked, it's about the actual land. Is the land good? Is it fat or lean? And about that, it's a land flowing with milk and honey, and this is its fruits. Because Moshe sent them to go and scout out the land, they were required, they were forced to fulfill the shlichus and to answer all the questions that he asked them. Moshe wasn't forced by the Eibishter to send a meraglim. It wasn't an imperative. But the Eibishter said, you can send according to your own perception. I'm not commanding you to send him to Shlach. We want to send meraglim, send. When Moshe sent the meraglim, they were forced to fulfill the shlichus that Moshe had sent them and to answer. They were required to give the answer. What did Kolev see that they were doing wrong to shut them up when they were saying the truth? They hadn't said anything of a renegade nature yet, it seems. they hadn't said what was the offending words, which was after Kalev had made them be quiet. Then they said, we can understand that that's an offense. But here they hadn't said anything yet. And also we have to understand that Kalev went off and seemingly deviated, went to Chevron. Kalev went to Chevron. For what purpose? He went to prostrate himself on the graves of our forefathers in Chevron. He shouldn't become convinced, pulled in to his friends to be in their same eitzah, to be in their same plan. The question is, why isn't it enough the koyach of the mishaleach? He's going in the koyach of the one who's sending them, which is Moshe Rabbeinu, to save him from getting caught into the plan of the meraglim. Dafka had to go to the graves of the office. He had Moshe Rabbeinu sent him. Explains it. What's the explanation? There are many sikhs that discuss this. Of course, we all know that, but this is mamish speaking to the heart of Hilula, to the heart of Iskashrus, and immediately within a few months, yet within the first year of Yud Shvat. Not a mugadik sikh, but it's a halacha. What was the sin of the meraglim? Is that in their answer, there was already a mixing in of their own intellect, and they changed the order of the matters the way that Moshe had instructed them. Moshe said, go check out the people. Are they strong or weak? And afterwards, check out the land. Is it fat or lean? They changed the order in which they responded. They first started talking about the land. It's a good land flowing with milk and honey. And then they said, the people, you asked about the people are very strong. What's the difference that Moshe Rabbeinu first asked about the people and then about the land, and they responded first about the land, the fertileness of the land, and then about the people? Chilik is like this. Moshe first wanted to know about the work, about the conquering, about the war. Are they strong or weak? What kind of a preparation do we need to go and do battle? Then he wanted to know what kind of living conditions. What's the salary? He wanted to know. That's the secondary. Is it full? Is it fat? Is it lean? The main thing was by him, the conquering. The shlichus was the main thing. And not the revach, not the reward, the profit. He wanted it to be shleah manas l'kavod pras. First, tell me, how do we do this? How do we get this job done? Not just that. He says, is it strong? I want to know first, are they strong people? Why? Because if they're strong, we're going to have to work hard. We have to mesirus nefesh. We're going to go and conquer this land under all circumstances, even if we need a heavy battle. Therefore, I'm sending you, and I want to know, are they very strong people? I'm anticipating that this is going to be, you're going to come back with an answer that they may be very strong. It's going to be a heavy battle. And also we could say, says the Rebbe, that the mere fact that we are ready to undertake a heavy battle already causes should be harofe. You go prepared to do heavy battle. So that in itself has an effect that the people become weak. The kind of energy you project, the victoriousness, the fortitude that you project when you're coming to do battle causes already the others to be faint-hearted. Meraglim didn't answer in that way. Meraglim shinu es aseh, the Meraglim changed the order. They said the way it made sense according to their seichel. First they spoke about the reward. They said it's a pretty cool country. Land flowing with milk and honey. Then he talked about the job they had to do. It's a ferocious people. It's a strong people. You already see by them they're thinking already. The main thing is the reward. There's a saying in Yiddish. Somebody tells me here. He says he can't wait to read the Haggadah by Pesach by night. But really, he means he can't wait for his baby's knedlach. Well, we don't eat knedlach, chicken knedlach, not real knedlach. Yeah. So what Moshe sends them to do is shlichus, they come back and talking about the salary. This is a rule in thumb, by the way. When somebody, when you want to talk to somebody about a shlichus, and the main thing that they're interested in is to hear what are the conditions of work, the salary part. So that's already it's a suspect. Yosef ben Kisma didn't like it. You know him from Pirkei Avos, where the guy starts saying, "Come and I'll give you elef alafim dinarei zav. I'm going to give you million of dinarei zav." Rabbi Yosef ben Kisma was very suspect that this guy is not going to be interested in his mission of changing the place to a makom Torah. He's got one thing in his head. So these people came back and they changed the order. They're not talking about the shlichus. They're not talking about the battle. They're talking about what's in it for them, the schar. From this comes the chashav cheshbon. Start making calculations when the Geil Avedis Amacham. Start thinking about whether it's achievable. The mission is even achievable. You know, this is the payment. So I could undertake a minor mission for that kind of payment. It's not enough to get me to pull out the heavy guns. But a harder mission, tougher mission, is not worth it. Till God forbid you can come to the mistake like the Meraglim did. They said we can't do it. We can't do it. That they said afterwards. When Kalev saw that the Meraglim are mixing in their seichel and they're changing the order. In other words, they're changing from the core mission. Even if it's just about the order of the events, they didn't change the actual mission, but they changed the priority schedule. He got them to be quiet. He shut them up right away. This is already a sign that they're off target. Now we can understand. Carries on the Rebbeinu Gimel. This is why Kalev had to go to Kivrei Avos. It doesn't just say he went to visit. Lishtateach means to prostrate oneself, which, as the Rebbe will say, it means to put yourself flat out. Your head is at the same level as your feet. Why? The mere fact, in other words, the actual dynamic of Moshe's shlichus in and of itself does not negate the possibility and even the need for the shliach to engage his own seichel. This is one of the functions of a shliach. There seems to me to be here some again, let me read it again and see if I get it. If not, then shlichus again. It's not a mugidik asicha. So shlichus shel Moshe kercham shalech shlatzma eina sheleles esav shorish shliach yas shinem v'shlichus adei erev asecha shlei. Zo avodos shel shliach atzmi. Laniach levatel lesichle lismas lam shliach lekam shel zveim shgabasod. Yeah, pasha. The fact that Moshe appointed him as a shliach does not take away from him his opportunity to mix in his own seichel. I'm mixing in something from Tavshin Mem Ches and to Tavshin Yud. That's vice versa and the next target. But here what the Rebbe is saying, that the Aveda of the shliach just by definition that he's appointed a shliach doesn't mean he's, in the language of today's language, that he has immunization against falling into the trap of following his own nuances and his own seichel, rather than being totally dedicated to only fulfilling that which he's been sent to do. That he has to do on his own. To harness, and as the Rebbe said in later years, that the shlach lecha l'daitecha, that even the way that Moshe Rabbeinu sends shluchim, or the way the Rebbe said that Nossi sends a shliach, is that as there's the famous story that Tzemach Tzedek sent a messenger to Peterburg, and he asked, "How am I going to be in touch with the Rebbe?" The Rebbe said, "You'll be Metzayer. You'll think what the Rebbe would answer, and danach ist stellen sich auf sich. You'll have to make your own decision and rely that this is going to be mechuven to what I want." And the Rebbe says, "Shlach lecha l'daitecha," that the shlichus becomes an even deeper shlichus when you, on the one hand, it has to be. But this is not the word that I'm saying here so much. The Rebbe is saying that the shlichus is a shlichus, but it doesn't take away the bechira, that the shliach should not confuse the mission with his own calculations. How does the shliach make sure that his calculations, kolev, make sure that his calculations are not confused by his own, like his colleagues, the ten meraglim, confused and mixed up the order? For that, we need to have Kabbalah Sel. How do you have the Kabbalah Sel? That's why Kolev went to prostrate himself, to flatten himself, lie in a flat way by Kivrei Avis. Although in our custom we don't actually do ishtatchus in that form, but the concept is still ishtatus, where it's like prostrating yourself, lying yourself flat, where the head and the feet are on the same level. In a positive way, higher than seichel. Kabbalah says, after you've done what you can to engage and to harness your seichel into the mission, but it has to be all according to the Kabbalah says, it has to be all according to the instruction without deviation. This is the chaver of Lias Beit Sasamin. This way he was able to be pale by himself, that he shouldn't get drawn in and lured in to be with his friends in their deviation. To fulfill that which Moshe Rabbeinu had told him to do without mixing the seichel in even of Kabbalah Sel. But the message for us is like this: Yadua, it's known. We have the Ispashtus of Moshe. We have the continuation of Moshe in every generation. He said him as a ein der shemei k'Moshe. U'deirena zeh chak me'echamu. And the Rebbe said in his Rebbe speaking about himself, there's Friedik Rebbe and us, of course. For us, it's the Rebbe. What's the shlichus of Chakmu Chadmur? Shlichus of the Rebbe that he sent, or sends, or will send somebody to a particular place. To refine that place. It's similar to it's in the same fashion as Moshe shlichus to conquer the Eretz Yisrael. What was the purpose of the shlichus of Moshe to conquer Israel? Is to make it the holy land, the land that's holier than all other places. This is the shlichus of our Moshe Rabbeinu, to refine the place. Every person is being sent to refine the place that he's being sent with shlichus of the Rebbe to refine it. To make his place Eretz Yisrael chulin al ta'asakeh. Even in a place which technically is not Kedush Yisrael, but to make it there also Taras HaKedush. Like there's the concept in Allah of Chulin. Even though it's Chulin, it can be treated and kept in the level of Tara, just like Tara of Hekdesh, of Kodesh. What's the Eirah that we should have to learn from the Meraglim? Not to mix in our seichel, make any change. Even in order, in priority. In the words of the Rav, in the words of the Rebbe. Even if he thinks that through making this change, he'll be more matzliach in the shlichus, with changing even minutely from the words of the Rebbe, you can come to a mistake similar to the Meraglim's mistake. And how much more so? It's a Kal V'chomer. If the Meraglim, which the Torah clearly states about them, they were all people of stature, tzaddikim. Nonetheless, even though they started off as great people, when they changed Moshe Rabbeinu's word, they came to be making a mistake of an extreme nature. They said, we cannot go up to Eretz Yisrael in direct opposition to Moshe and to the Eibishter. People like us, how much more so that Chas v'Shalom, if we don't start off at the level of Anosh Rosh Hema, how much more so Chas v'Shalom if we deviate even an iota from Divrei Rav, Chas v'Shalom, where we could leave up. Pirish, ukidivre chak melcham yadmun pish mam nazal. Kachum nosa shel Yetzirah. This is the way the Yetzirah works. Today he says, do this. Till he tells him, go and do Avodah Zarah chas v'shalom. Yetzirah, and the Yetzirah is called the wise guy. It doesn't start by telling do an aver, even a small one. The guy's not going to listen to him. He's going to tell Yetzirah. He's going to tell the Yetzirah, go fly a kite. And the tchilas dvarav asay kach. He acts like a friend, like a yoyetz, like a consultant. He says, yeah, you can do it. It's a mitzvah. Emily, Yetzirah is sehr gleich. You want to do a mitzvah? Yeah, the Yetzirah says, good idea. This mitzvah is good for you. I also agree you should do it. Once the Yetzirah sees that you're listening to him like a coach, he's your coach. Even though he temporarily told you to do your mitzvah, he sees that now you're listening to your own intellect, your own opinion. That's already the beginning where he's going to say, today he tells you to do something nice, but because you want to do it. And tomorrow he'll tell you to do something else that's not the Fia Kavana, and that's it. A small deviation lands up chas v'shalom with a big problem. The key, the fundamental, pivotal condition of shlichus is you have to listen to the Divrei Harav, listen to what the Rebbe says. Without a change, without mixing in your intellect, we take Kabbalah Seil Dafka. As I said later on in the Memches, the Rebbe spoke even a deeper darga of harnessing the seichel, that it should be according to the Kabbalah Seil, which is required. Two inyanim which are required in the shlichus. On the one hand, the innovation. On the other hand, the not deviation. As we know now, it's much easier to stay in lockdown than to come out. We all see. Lockdown is easy. Bittul is easy, in a certain sense. But the kunz is what the Rebbe expects from us is both the innovation from our own seichel in terms of the implementation of what the mission is without deviation. That's already a little more complicated because the creativity of the person is activated. It has to be activated only in a way where it's an expression of what the core mission is. It's also the kavanah here, but it's not here. That's not the here. The main point is the bittul of divrei harav. And it's in askeach. Where do we get the keach for this? Especially now after this talkus, to go to Kevei Avos and prostrate yourself, you mevatel yourself. It'll come on. And here the Rebbe says, why don't we say zecher tzadik levracha? It's a traditional thing to say, like it says in Masechta Yoma, or Nishmas Eden. The Rebbe says like this, very personal words the Rebbe is saying here. So Chastei, the Tafik Tzadik Aleph, the Fidik Rebbe said, I don't say about my father Nishmas Eden, Nisham is in Gan Eden. Weil ich bin nicht kein Adressenschreiber, I'm not an address book, an address writer. Und wieder von mir ist der Tate ist nostalgisch geworden. Even furthermore, for me, my father didn't depart. Weil there is a Benegel Chak Milcham Yadmur. The Rebbe said, for me, the same thing about the Fidik Rebbe. I don't want to say about him, we shouldn't say about him. Who can give an address where he is? He's only in Gan Eden, in the lower Gan Eden, in the Elden, the Lamailem is not sure, even much higher. You know exactly where he is. You're going to limit the address of how high he is and so on. Based, why should we say something that indicates that we're sending him away from us? He certainly doesn't want to separate himself from us. He's with us. Same reason, not to say Nishmas Eden, also don't say Zecher Tzadik Levracha. The whole in the Kud of Zikaron, Shaykh Rak al Davar Lochik Shnefel Bein Nashikha. Something is distant, and you remember it. It says it about you say Zikaron. Shenkim in the Dan Shleichach in Nashikha Chas V'Shalom. You can't talk Chas V'Shalom. You need to remember the Rebbe. I mean, in other words, that you could forget him. And Tzedek B'Zikaron, we don't have to talk about Zikaron. Commission Tzedek B'Zikaron and again L'Adam Chai. Then we don't have to talk about remembering somebody who's alive. He's here. He's Ubiprati is Yeser. The Mela, but we have to take into account that the Rebbe at the same time, in printed matters and so on, that it was very careful that all of the usual suffixes which are used, and Zakta Lahan of Gamziyah and so on, it was very makbid that it should be used, the proper terminology should be used. The Rebbe is saying, when we talk about the Rebbe, and you'll notice that when all the times the Rebbe spoke about the Friedrich Rebbe, he spoke about the Rebbe, the Shvene Siderenu. So the Pashtus is a clear distinction between how things are written officially in an official way and how a person Zok Tzechareis. And indeed, Chazima Ahmed Bar, we speak about the Rebbe, we speak about the Rebbe. We don't have to add we don't have to add things. The plot is Yosef. Comes in, the Rebbe says, Nochmer. It was. It's a big Gemara. It says in the Gemara, I'm not sure if you all have the Sikha, maybe you could. Okay, no, mention Hadavar Shalom alone. It's a Gemara. The Gemara says in Yivamis, "My dichsiva gura of all cha'ilamim." Sometimes it's interesting when you look at the. Sometimes it's interesting, when you look at the Gemara at the source. Maybe let me give you the background to this Gemara. Maybe the Rebbe doesn't quote the background, but I think perhaps today this can give us a little bit of a chizuk in certain yanim. Ozal, there's a ma'aseh like this. The Gemara says, I'll paraphrase it in English. Rabbi Elazar went and stated a teaching of Rabbi Yochanan in the Beis Medrash, and he didn't say it in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. So Rabbi Yochanan heard that Rabbi Elazar didn't credit him. Rabbi Elazar didn't credit him, and he became angry. So when they saw that Rabbi Elazar was angry that Rabbi Yochanan hadn't said when they saw Rabbi Yochanan was angry that Rabbi Elazar didn't say it in his name, so Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Asi went and tried to calm down Rabbi Yochanan. Yeah, and they said, isn't there a precedent for this where something was said not in the name of the Rav who taught it? And they gave a precedent of a Beis Knesset in Tveria about the sugya. Sugya is nicht what the sugya is so much. Where this sugya was a machlekes of Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Yosi, and the machlekes of Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Yosi was so fierce that they atchekoru sefer Torah b'chamosan lashon Gemara. They tore a sefer Torah in their anger. The Gemara interrupts and says, "What? Chas v'shalom, they tore a sefer Torah? Talka daitoch? Can you even imagine? They were arguing. They tore it. No, chas v'shalom. There was such an argument that we were, I guess, pulling at different sides of the sefer, and it was torn intentionally because of the b'chamosan, because of the anger in their argument. They were arguing machlekes about divrei Torah, but this machlekes caused Chasham sefer Torah to be torn. So Rabbi Yosef ben Kisma was there, and he said, I will be amazed if Chasham this shul doesn't someday become a house of Avedis Kechavim. So it eventually came to be. There's a place that there could be such chaos where the Talmidim can fight so much, even about Divrei Arav, can fight so much chas v'sholem in, I guess it's al derech, Talmidei Rebbe Akiva. This can't be good. This we know that chaos is connected with Avedis Kechavim. So they hoped that they would tell Rabbi Yochanan this, and Rabbi Yochanan would be a little bit less angry. Rabbi Yochanan got even more angry. He said, you're speaking about two chaverim fighting, right? You want them me? I'm talking about a Talmud, not quoting me. It said it in my name. So now Rabbi Yankel Bar Idi proposes something. I brought this introduction to Gemara because we have to hear words that remind us that even when even sometimes when we disagree with each other, be very, very careful. Chas v'shalom v'chalul v'chas. At any rate, the next part of the Gemara is also interesting. Rabbi Yankel Bar Idi tries to calm down Rabbi Yochanan. And he tells him, it says, Kashet tziva Hashem es Moshe avdei, kein tziva Moshe Yeshua v'chein al Rabbi Yeshua. That whatever, as Hashem has commanded Moshe Rabbeinu, so Moshe commanded Yeshua, and Yeshua did. He did not omit a thing of all that Hashem commanded Hashem. Says the Gemara, and everything that Yeshua says, does he say, oh, Moshe told me to do this? No. Ela Yeshua Yeshu v'dershlam, Yeshua would expound, he would teach. And everybody knows that whatever Yeshua teaches is from Moshe Rabbeinu. So Rabbi Yankel Bar Idi told Rabbi Yochanan, also Rabbi Elazar your Talmud, Yeshev v'derish stam, he darshans, v'hakel yedim kishalchai, everybody knows it's yours. He only says what he learned from you, whatever he says is from you. Oh. So Rabbi Yochanan was calmed. So he told the other guys, Bami and Avasi, why didn't you know also how to calm me down like this? That's already words. Whatever Rabbi Elazar says is he's saying for me. He doesn't have to always say it in my name. Why was Taka Rabbi Yochanan so interested that it should be said in his name? What was the inyan? So about this it says, why was he so impressed? Why was he's so insistent it should be said in his name? Because of this Gemara. Now the Rebbe continues the Gemara. What is David HaMelech says? I want to live in your tent, say Lamim, in two worlds. Can a person live in both worlds? But then the Gemara teaches called Talmud Chacham, Talmud Chacham, that something is said in his name in this world. His lips move in the kever. His neshama is in Yeshiva Shalmaila, in the heavenly Yeshiva. His lips move in the kever as if he's speaking. So he's in Yeshiva Shalmaila, and down here below also his guf is having a manifestation of his Torah that's being said. So he's in two worlds concurrently. And the Rebbe teaches Yeshiva Shalmaila and Shalmata Nikas Yeshiva and Talmidim. Yeshiva is when there's Talmidim and Rosh Yeshiva. Talmidim Levadam Yeshiva, just students is not a Yeshiva. You have a Rosh Yeshiva, says a Shir before Talmidim. Talmidim Chayzim ala Shir, and Talmidim Chazer the Shir. Ubo Etzlam Ba'avona V'Asoga, and it becomes something that they understand. Gam kasher b'tchila inam mivinim. Even if they don't understand, they chazer it over, then they understand. Yeshiva shkelez Rosh Yeshiva Talmidim, Yesh Yeshiva Shalmata. Learn the Banyan Shalmata, Yeshiva Shalmaila. Learn the Banyan Shalmaila. In this context of Yeshiva Talmidim and Arav, there's the Yeshiva where they learn supernal things. Yeshiva where they learn things of a lower nature. Yeshiva Shalmata, Yeshiva Shalmaila. Yeshnam hein lifnei stalkos, vein lachri stalkos. They're both existent, both when the tzaddik is physically alive, and when also after his stalkos. The chiluk is what's revealed and what's uncovered. Before the stalkos, so then in down below the yeshiva is apparent. And the upper yeshiva is in a hidden way. After the departure from this world, so then the revelation is above, and in a concealed state, it's in the yeshiva below. And that's a minion is here, still in the yeshiva shamata with no change as it was before. This is no longer revealed. It says that from the mouth of Hashem doesn't come out bad things. Even since we can't say that that means it's always good. It can only be good for us if we're together with the Rebbe. So it must be that from the Eibishter's perspective, the Rebbe is still with us. Perspective of Lamaila, it's not that it didn't happen bad. The only difference is how much it's revealed to us or concealed. Before we had the Rebbe in a revealed way, but now is with us in a concealed way. Now we have to bring a Gemara to prove it. That it's possible to live in both worlds through Torah. And that we need to do this by learning the Rebbe's Torah. When we learn a word from Rebbe, then his lips are moving even lamata, even in this physical world in the cave. On the other hand, the fact that it's behelim, it's concealed, and we need to bring a raya to prove it, doesn't make a chalishus about the reality of the thing. As the Fidik Rebbe used to tell the story about his father, that they were speaking about malachim, about angels and spiritual things. Somebody asked the Rebbe, how do we know? You ever saw an angel? Nobody ever came back from there and said how the angels look. The Rebbe Rashab answered, what is this compared to? To an agola, a wagon that is harnessed, is connected to the horses, and the people sitting in are speaking about angels. So the Chachamim are sitting and talking about spiritual things. What are the horses thinking about? They think they're going on the journey because they want to get to the hay. They'll put hay in front of them. They always think they're running to the hay. What is the wagon driver? So they're thinking about the good hay they're going to get when they get to the destination, the horses. What is the eglin? What is the balagola, the wagon, the coachman? What is he thinking about? He's thinking about the Tashlum HaKesed, the money they're going to pay him. Avoid on the sea because of problem. They'll find some basis to support his family. It's a little bit more edel. Machshava Daka Yes Machshava is a little bit more edel than just eating the hay. He's coming, he's doing something more noble. He's going to support his family. But all of that is Ein Erech L'Divrei Chachamim is Malachim. This has no comparison to what the Malachim are talking about. These subtle and esoteric and spiritual things about angels. So just because the horses don't know, the horses don't know about the Malachim, that means there's no Malachim. Even though we don't feel these spiritual things, we talk about the tzaddik is here, Helem Gili. We have an idea in materialistic things. That's how we judge our perception. Sometimes we're a little more subtle. Nonetheless, it's still within the realm of material. It doesn't change the inyan of the inyan bichlal. What's the sefis? So how do we get an additional nesinas kech to be able to understand these things, to relate to these things, to be able to be a little bit more edel and not so much behelem? Went to kivrei ovis. In Ishtadchos, concept of going to the oyel wa'alichal kivrei metechidia ado izer. It's going to the caver from the knowledge. Ado izer, here he is. That's the Gashmius. Mitzayirim is tzuras dmus panav. When you picture the picture of his face, alideza nisvasev keach ve'eiz ba'искashus. Through that is added power and energy in the connectivity in the iskashus. Ubekiyum shlichusa, and to fulfill the shlichus, like by kolev lelei shinuyim v'cheshben Yisrael, without changes, without any calculations that would cause deviation. When you hear from Moshe Rabbeinu an instruction even one time, could sometimes be a weakness or a coldness. You could mix in the cheshbon, just like by Meraglim. We have to strengthen the Ishtadchus, which is Kabbalah Seichel. Re-establish the connection which is predicated and built on higher than Seichel. And this is included also Ishtadchus B'Rufnis. How do we do it? With Gashmi, it's to go to the cave. You go to the El, knowing that you're there in that physical space with the Rabbi is. B'Rufnis in the Ishtadchus is, K'diz, B'Sefer Me'erenaim, Shem Baal Shem Tov. Me'erenaim brings, with the Chernobyl brings the name of the Baal Shem Tov. In Ishtadchus B'Rufnis, Ali Dei Lima Teras HaTzadik is through the learning of the Torah of the Tzadik. Shebahichnis is called Atzmusay in the Torah, learning of it, in the Torah of the Tzadik, he embedded his whole essence. If dem hat sich abgegeben, he gave himself, he dedicated himself to that, to his Torah, and in dem hat sich weggegeben, and he transmitted himself in his Torah. As we find that it says about Moshe in the Zohar, that his kvura, where is he buried? Where is he to be found in the Mishnah? They're moving, so this we can understand. To learning the Rebbe, that's the inyan Ishtadchus B'Ruchnius. That's to prostrate yourself by his place, by his resting place. In Ruchnius, that adds in the Hiskashus. I'm going to skip here to Eishid Gimel. Let me see if I can get myself to be able to see somebody here. 1 second. Okay, but there's even more people. How do I get? I use Zoom every day, but I'm still discovering that I verstehe es nicht. Show thumbnail video, no. Wie mache ich es ein bisschen größer? The full screen with Amaises. No. 1 second. Sorry, my dear friends. Bear with me a moment. I did it. Phew. Okay. Baruch Hashem. So the Nekud is Azay. I want to tell you a story about a Yid. There's a Yid. I have a Yid Chaver from Bangkok. I see on my screen, from not Bangkok, from the south of Thailand, is on the screen. Oh, beautiful. You have to have a chush to know where where the Farbrengen is going to happen. So I have a chaver here. A chaver who's a rice farmer. If you want to take a look at a nice video, you can Google Jewish rice farmer Thailand. And he's a Yid who the first time he came to the shul was when he was already 50, I think. No, 50, 10 years ago. And the first time he put on tefillin, I had discussed to put on tefillin with him. He didn't, and I sent him matzahs. It was a few months later. He got the matzahs, Mamish Erev Pesach, Shmura Matzah, and he read the story of Pesach as for a Seder. And ever since then, he's always come for all the Yom Tevin, the major Yom Tevin comes here. He lives an hour flight away. Like a Shmaka Yid. And okay, so this year he comes for the whole Pesach because it's difficult to do Pesach where he is. It's not the right environment. He comes the whole Pesach. And this year was lockdown. As you know, this year was lockdown. So what happens under lockdown? So for most of the people sitting here, you and I, what happens? Lockdown. So look, I wasn't born into a Seder of 250 people. I grew up. The Seder is one night. My Zayda and Baba, Moshe Kantor, he came to us. And the second night he went to Shaya Kantor. I got 15 people, 20 people. We had some guests, but that wasn't 250 people. It was a family Seder. Okay. So we got here, and that changed. Okay, it's almost 30 years that we haven't had a family Seder. Had a much bigger than family Seder. The family expanded. The first year we came, it was already 100 people, and then they stopped. Bigger and bigger. I don't run the 2,000 people Seder. I run the community Seder. Maximum 200 people. Second night, 100 people. So comes a Pesach with lockdown. What do? Comes a Pesach with lockdown. You do Mivtza Matzah. In fact, we gave out Baruch Hashem Ribui Matzahs. We were lucky. We had the Wordiger Matzahs already. Came in advance, and made sure we gave as much food as we could. Just tell us you want to say that we'll send you. We no issue. And we reached more people local. We reached more local Yidden than we usually do. We had less people because we didn't have the borders are closed. So we didn't have all the 6,000 people that would be travelers. But mitzad local Yidden, we had more local Yidden than ever before that we reached. So I must be honest. Our Pesach Seder was Agishmaka Seder. It was nice. It was a family, and Mamish, the nuclear family. Even Baruch Hashem, we have half our kids are married. They weren't here. It was just the unmarried kids. It was unusual. It was strange, but it was a Seder. And I spoke to some of the Chevra after Pesach, and particularly what made an impression on me, I spoke to Zvulun after Pesach. And he told me, look, it wasn't Pesach for me. Am I sharing my screen still, by the way? Huh? Where am I? Let's see. Huh?
Now, if you could share your screen again, that'd be great. Somebody else was sharing just now.
You can tell me. You still see my screen? I don't want to be
sharing. See you. We can see you, but not.
Now I lost everything. Okay. No, I don't know if I'm still on Zoom.
You're fine. Continue.
Oh, I'm still here. Okay. Can somebody tell me if I'm sharing my screen or not?
No, you're not. No.
Okay. So, so I speak to Zvulun. This was a name that he took because he was also a U.S. Navy guy. So he took names on, and he says it was disaster. Why is Pesach a disaster? The only way he knows Pesach is to be by us, to be with the Kehillis. He never had a Pesach with his family. His mother was Jewish and his father was Jewish, but they raised him with zero Yiddishkeit bekavona. Bekavona because the story is that his mother had a mother who left America to go to Europe to try and save her parents and got caught in the Holocaust and never came back. So Zvulun's mother was very angry at the whole thing and she didn't want to raise her kids Jewish. So his first Seder was when he was 50 years old, and it's a community Seder. And that's all he knows for the last 10 years, community Seder. And now, nothing. He had his own Seder. Of course he had his own Seder. He's a Yid with a beard, a Frume Yid, a Chassidish Yid. He had a Seder with Shmuna Matzah and all the works. But he said it was so excruciatingly difficult. Okay. I can't relate to it. Just to say that I had a seder. Kids, Baruch Hashem, my wife, Baruch Hashem. But Gimel Tammuz is a different story. Gimel Tammuz, I never had a Gimel Tammuz where can't go to the oil, you can't go to the Rebbe. Helen Vehester. It's everything else. My life, okay, good. My life was altered in many ways, like everybody's life, disruptions, but not to the core, I would say. But here, I'm like Zvulun with Pesach. 10 years he had the Pesach. What's Pesach for him? Pesach is all the Chevra together. What's Gimel Tammuz? I was here already, Gimel Tammuz, but Gimel Tammuz, Tafshanun Daled, we happened to be on a visit in Los Angeles. And Matzah Shabbos, I flew to New York. And thereafter, I find myself, on the Yom HaHilula, by the Rebbe. I was once there only for 3 hours because I had to be back here the next day, and I had to be here the night before. So I was there for 3 hours. I landed at 6 in the morning and left at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's enough time. Stand online even. To go to the Rebbe and come back. But here is Psanaya Maisa. The airport's closed. And yeah.
Yes. Yes or no?
He's been Mela. So here we have to look at the Nekuda Ikris. Like I said, the point is that this disruption didn't take away the etzem fakert. It causes the etzem to be uncovered even more. Pesach wasn't taken away from people. I spoke to a Yid. I spoke to a Yid in his 80s. He told me for 60 years he hasn't ever had a seder like this without his. He hasn't had to lead a seder for the last 50 years. As soon as his kids were bar mitzvah, they were already. I'm not such a issue there safer. From when his first kid started to go to cheder, he's not leading the seder. All of a sudden he's with his wife. He has to lead the seder. The trappings, the spashtos, everything else around, that's gone. But the etzem isn't taken away from us. Baruch Hashem, we can still keep Shabbos. And I venture to say that Klor, already in Tovshin Yud, the Rebbe told us in Bavorant that there's an inyan of ishtadchus, of the nature of Asda is er. When a person is able to go to the Tzion, and able to go to the Eil, and able to go to a place where Begashmi is Asda is er, there's the Rebbe and Mimetzayer Pnei Kochen, as the Mittler Rebbe says, they couldn't say Shtadchus, that what brings you to the physical presence of the Rebbe is the Ahava. You think the Ahava, you lost the Ahava. If you lost the Ahava, you wouldn't be there. And if you're in Australia and you find yourself by the Rebbe, believe me, there's an Ahava. And you have 24 hours on a plane to think about the Ahava. I didn't come back to live in Australia, Taka, but I didn't go to somewhere closer. Went somewhere equally as far. It's when there was a non-stop, 17 and a half hours, Bangkok, New York. The non-stop started on Achron Shel Pesach 1 year, and it stopped afterwards, continued for 2 years. But it was 17 and a half hours. I think from Australia, Melbourne, and Sydney, to New York, non-stop is around the same, maybe 18 hours, maybe 19 hours, but the same. Believe me, they got to have a big ava if you're getting on a plane. The Mittler Rebbe is made that if you came to the Rebbe, it's a sign the ava is still there. Don't beat yourself up that you already lost your ava. Chas v'shalom to the Rebbe, you still have the ava. There's something that attracts you. There's something that pulls you. But this year, we go down to an even, in a way, it's peeled away. We go down to an even deeper level of iskashus, to the core of iskashus. The core of iskashus is, because there's many things when you travel physically and you go to be with other people and you go with, there's a lot of other stuff going on. You see chaverim and mizak l'chaim zusammen and there's a trip and you're not in your home environment. There's a lot of things going on that are not mamish necessarily just the etzem ha'inyan. This year, my dear friends, is coming a Gimel Tammuz, which hopefully, the Rebbe said, he doesn't want to speak about the Ershte Hilula, he hopes there won't be more than one. Although then the Rebbe said that Hilula is a chasana, the yahrzeit not. The Ershte yahrzeit, I don't want to use the word yahrzeit. We hope there won't be another yahrzeit. We hope that we had already enough Gimel Tammuz in the Eifin of yahrzeit. It should be a Hilula, a big simcha together with the Rebbe Begashvis. But we can't let ourselves can't let ourselves use that Mashiach caveat to get us off the hook of preparing the Imdoch and Kulcha and preparing ourselves in the most Yesodisdike and the most in a way of the most Yegi, the most toil. Would you give somebody a loan that he says, I'll pay you back when Mashiach comes? Yeah. You give somebody a loan, they'll pay back when Mashiach comes. They still Mashiach is coming any second. Yeah, okay, till the loan. By the way, if anybody here wants to give me a loan till Mashiach comes, it's mamish, it's going to be a very short time. I'm always open. Here we can't, that's to make us work harder. The fact that Mashiach's coming any second means we don't want to be caught, we don't be caught with our pants down, so to speak. Sorry to use that language, but we don't want to be caught unprepared. When Mashiach is about to come, we don't want to look like a Grob Yum. We want to prepare ourselves. Don't prepare ourselves. What do they bring a rabbi for his birthday? When you make the Rebbe makes a birthday at milestone occasions, they bring him aftershave. Hello, aftershave. That's like going to shave on Lag Ba'omer. You're going to go shave, right? So how do you prepare? Imdoch in Kulchem. So how do you prepare for Yom Elul? Is not by taking a shower and putting on aftershave. It's not by taking a shower and it's by making a Hachono. Following the Rebbe's Torah. This year there's no monkey business. As Rabbi Gronel Vashom used to say, no messing around. This year it's real McCoy. This year the Hishtateyach is Lishtateyach through Limud Teirosei. And to come to the Rebbe in a way where Mikum Pe'emes, like the Rebbe used to quote from the Alter Rebbe, Higia means also not just to come, but Der Numen. Higia, Setem Der Numen has to touch you. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, this it's difficult. I was very happy that I was invited to come and share and need to think about it because part of me wants to run away from it because it's a pain. It's hard to think. We know that one of the things that we live in Elam Hazar Gashmi, and Elam Haz, the intersection of Elam Hazar Gashmi with Ruchnius and Elam Shana Nefesh, there's an intersection. Yom Kippur is the holiest day and the holiest place and so on. The intersection of everything of Gimel Tammuz usually comes together also in a physical space, and then it's on a physical day, and we come with our physical selves, and it's a time where we come to Rebbe and Ado is there. This year it's coming to a deeper level of etzem. We're going to really have to arrive in our nefesh, in our experience, in our soul, learning the Rebbe's Torah. And this is really, I think, the way we have to look at this whole tkufa. Some people were very upset that the Eila Misha was saying we were kicked out of the shuls. Kicked out of the shuls must be we spoke during Chveis. We didn't give cover to the shul. We were kicked out. That's the way. That's a marashcheridik way to look at it. Really, what happened is during this period we all became Hatzalah members. So says there's a mitzvah in Ishmartim Eidlan Afshei Seichem. Usually it's reserved to the people that walk around with walkie-talkies even on Yom Kippur because they're first responders, they're saving people's lives. And we usually just look on with admiration. Comes such a magefa, and we're being told, you stay at home and you cover your mouth with a mask and you social distance and you're going to be helping to save lives. We all get a chance now to be part of that group of people that are heroes, that are mamish being asik and atzolas nefashos. We stayed away from the shul not because we was getting further from the Rebbeinu Shalom Chas V'Shalom. Fakir, the Eibishter was giving us all a chance to do the Aveda in a deeper way, in a more meaningful way. And if you haven't yet learned it, you should learn the Yisrei Tafshin Chav Daled, the Maimer, the Rebbe Yisrei Tafshin Chav Daled, Bachidish, Onichev Shem Lekecha, I think. Shabbos Pashas Yisrei Tafshin Chav Daled, the Rebbe quotes the Maimer of the Mittler Rebbe, where he says why some mitzvahs, why they would take people, the Cantonisten, they took them away from ability to do mitzvahs. You have to see the Maimer. It's a simple Maimer, but very Yesodisdik. And the point is that the yearning for doing mitzvahs is so intense that it creates an energy l'mayla that wipes away all the kitrugim. So the mayla we have now is gaguim. That samalacha nafshi. The Rebbe says a vart that 50 years ago in Shavuos. You know, the Gemara says, Heisif Moshe Yem Echad Midaite. Moshe added a day, according to Rabbi Yosef, and delayed the giving of the Torah by a day. Says Says the Rebbe in the Suda, it's in the Suda, Rashi Dvarim of the Suda, Shmuz Tavshin Lamed. What says Moshe Rabbeinu's tafkid lecha is to make, or maybe somebody asked the Rebbe, is to make Matan Torah come a day earlier. Is making Matan Torah a day later. That's Moshe Rabbeinu. Said the Rebbe that Moshe Rabbeinu wanted the tzimoin that the Yidden were having was such an unbelievable tzimoin. He wanted to enhance that tzimoin, should get even stronger. This year, Shalei B'Ritzaynenu. Shalei B'Ritzaynenu, we're in Golus. But this year, this is a tzimoin and a gagua that is going to hopefully break the barriers of the Golus. Will connect so much. The Ishtatchus will be taka. As we all know, the Rebbe said in the first Maimer, what the Rebbe said in the first Yud Shvat Tavshin Yud Aleph is Leiknish kan feig lach bosom. Don't think I'm going to do the work for you. You're going to have to do it. I'm going to help you, but you're going to have to do it. And in one of the last sichas we heard in Chavkas Nisan Tavshin Yud Aleph, the Rebbe said that same thing. He says, I didn't yet take you out of the Golus Pnimis. We're still in the Golus Pnimis. I need you. I did whatever I have to do. I need you guys to do your thing. He said it in the Yud Shvat of the Kabbalah Sanasi. He said, I need you guys to do the work. And then 11 months before Chav Zayin Odeh, he says, I need you. Forget about it. Now it's going over to you. And in case we weren't so sure, and we still thought we can come and we can get some help, we can come to the physically we can go to the oil. Now this year it's a deeper level. Forget about that. You yourself have to work. You got to make it meaningful in your own heart, in your own soul. If we take ourselves a little bit out of the Golus Pnimis, so then it's a different Maisa. Then the whole Golus Chitzenis is going to be in this battle. How the litmus test to know if we went out of the Golus Pnimis is we're able to get along with each other. That's the litmus test. So long as we're not able to get along with each other, we're still in Atifa Golus. So let's hope and pray and so on that this final assault, so to speak, it's the final frontier we have to overcome. We should dedicate ourselves. There's no question that everybody that the Maimorim of the Rebbe have to be embedded in our hearts and in our souls. The Basiligani and Vatetzavah, all the time everybody learns his own inyanim, and we should be imdoach and kulchem. And as the Rebbe quotes in Imdoach and Kulchem, that this is a mocker. One second, I actually to read the Lashon Harav. Imdoach and Kulchem, what the Rebbe quotes. Did it open for me? The Rebbe quotes. It's actually a Lashon from the Frierdiker Rebbe's. For the Frierdiker Rebbe's Frierdiker Rebbe's letter about Beis Nissen, and the Rebbe says it about Yud Shvat, and we understand it about Gimel Tammuz. Anash v'talmidei chachamim, v'chol hanetlim chelik b'darkei achsinim v'achsidus imdoach in kultem. Stand prepared. Atem, you, nesheichem, your wife, b'neichem, u'neseichem, your sons and daughters, lekabil birchas havayah, to receive the brachas of the Eibishter b'shifas chayim u'parnosa teva, with a flow of life and a good parnasa, v'nachas miyetzech v'nachas from your offsprings, asher yashpia Hashem yisbarach lachem v'lanu, that Hashem will give to you and to us al yidei yis'eirus rachim rabim. How are we going to get all these fantastic, amazing brachas? Through the arousal of great mercy, from the source of true, merciful chasadim, al derech machnisei rachamim, based on the piyut, machnisei rachamim, asher ye'orer chak merichame admur hakam, which the Frierdiker Rebbe, in our case, which the Rebbe is going to be me'orer, the keshet teriyah melula, bruchim tiyu v'bonei chayim v'zein avichi, should be blessed with an abundance of brachas in children and in health and in parnasa, the way of abundance. So we have to be imdach and kulcham. We'll all stand prepared, and the Rebbe will be me'orer for us. All the inyanim. We should be a geula shleima. We should be able to have a hilula, a big chasana, a big celebration together with the Rebbe here lamata in a guf. V'hu yigalenu. L'chaim to you all.
Chaim.
Amen. L'chaim. Thank you very much, Rabbi Kantor. That was really wonderful. I appreciate you taking the time to come and speak to us, especially by bringing for us at the end. Very inspirational how we connect to the Rebbe for Gimel Tammuz especially during these times. So thank you very much. Maybe if you wanted to stay on for a few minutes to share a few more stories from your wonderful shlichus in Thailand, we would be most grateful. But I want to wish you thank you very much and appreciate your time. We learned a lot, and it was a pleasure to have you as part of our Hachono and getting ready for Gimel Tammuz. Shkoyach.
Thank you very much. I have it was Larry Masudas Davis. Good to see you all.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Kantor. All the best. Love you.
Love you too, Yossi.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Koltov.
Can you see me, Aaron Amzalek?
Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you. I'm sure
Yeah.
I can place.
Few times to Bangkok.
You know me since I'm a little kid in Sydney. What kind of Bangkok?
You know my son Gabby.
Classmates of Gabby. Yeah.
Yes, he's still watching you. And we
many of you, yes, remember me before my Opsharnish. That's true.
That's right.
That just shows how old you are.
Thank you.
All the best. See David Dietz over there. Wow, mamish gewaldig to see so beautiful faces.
Can you see my son Benny Amsalek also? No?
Yeah.
Some people are hidden. A lot of people they go. They're hiding. Oh,
Yosef Chaim is Binyamin Althuis. Ik lees de eerste keer. I love you.
Was maakt er Binyamin? Wow, beautiful.
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Good on you for all the good work that you're doing in Bangkok. And together with the Chaim, you should have a lot of Gringe Nachas.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you a Maisa, Binyamin. I'm going to say a Maisa here. This is a Maisa that either you could either believe it or not, but I'll tell you a Maisa Shahoya what happened. In the Bangkok Post a few days ago, there's a big discussion why Thailand was Baruch Hashem not hit. Because the truth is, if you see which flights went from Wuhan before they shut down Wuhan, the most flights to anywhere in the world from Wuhan was Bangkok. Cloud is big. The Chinese come here a lot. But what's the shot? So there was someone saying it's hot. But if you have a Gemara cup, we know that a Hekesh doesn't work because Brazil's also hot. And they're not doing well and so on and so forth. They really don't have a Hezber. I'm going to give you the Primisdika Hezber. On Chav Bei Shvat, around Chav Bei Shvat, one of the shluchim here, who's unfortunately, he's having yahrzeit, the 11th yahrzeit of his daughter. He lost his daughter when she was 9 years old. She had Yana Machla, the Ashkenazi family. They had twins. And their girl, Chaim Mushka Ashkenazi, passed away on Chav Hei Sivan. So let this be Lil Nishmas. Shabbos, we had the first time we've had actually an in-person Kiddush or Farbrengen was actually this Shabbos in honor of this yahrzeit. Was with the appropriate situation, but Akopanim is like this. So he got a call. We got a call. Somebody sent an email. Somebody called us and says that the Rebbe gave a Maimer Baruch Sha'asa Nisim Yud Shvat Tov Shin Nun Aleph. That we know. I have the Maimer also. I was there. And there's a Yid in Crown Heights, Baruch Wilhelm. He lives on Empire Boulevard. His nephew, Nechemia Wilhelm, is a shliach here. Nechemia Wilhelm's father never passed away. Chav Dalet Tevis Tov Shin Nun Aleph. And Nechemia is a bacher, same age as at the time Eliezer Ashkenazi was then a bacher. And he used to help him a lot. He helped him take his father to the hospital. So it appears that the Maimer Baruch Sha'asa Nisim landed up in Baruch Wilhelm's house on Empire Boulevard and laid there till this year. One of the Wilhelm Jungelite was looking for some kuntres the Rebbe once gave him. And he takes out a kuntres, Baruch Sha'asa Nisim, given by the Rebbe's hands, Yud Shvat Tov Shin Aleph, and says, Chaim Eliezer Ashkenazi. So he calls Nechemia Wilhelm as a shliach here, who's a cousin, and he says, Nechemia, I found Eliezer Ashkenazi as a Maimer. Well, okay, so we said, Eliezer's wife is in New York. She came for the Kinnis HaShluchis. Let's give it to her. Okay, it arrives here that week, and I'm thinking, 1 second, this is a new Gilui, a Maimer from the Rebbe's hands, which was laying unthought about. The one who received it didn't remember he received it. Coming here, Baruch Sha'asa Nisim, we have to make a big shturim. At least by the shluchim. So we made a big Malav Malka and a Farbrengen, and we hooked up the shluchim in Thailand. We were trying to make sure that the Nisim wouldn't just be a personal one; it should go for all the shluchim, the whole chevra. This was right before, mamish at the end of Shvat. If you look at the timeline, you see that's when things. I was in Australia actually after that. I was in Australia, I think, mamish Shabbos after that. I landed here back from Australia. I was in Australia for Shabbos. I landed here, Tainus Esther in the morning from Australia. Now, you see, at the time, I was still able to go to Australia and get people's sympathy and get funds because everybody thought I was just an Asian virus. Little did they know, and the people helped me, they were generous. Little did they know, everybody was going to be disrupted and affected. Anyway, and This is a Maisa. So to me, I kept on thinking, the Baruch She'asa Nisim. We had here a bracha. I don't know why we were zeicher to it. We had here a bracha. The Rebbe sent a contrast. Baruch She'asa Nisim. Tafshin Aleph. It came. It was given, and it arrived here. And I don't know if I can convince the Bangkok Post Symposium that this is the mocker of the bracha. Why Thailand had mamish kimat was not affected. There were 50 deaths, but and even now, Baruch Hashem, it's like it's a country with 60 million people. You have to understand. Baruch Hashem. So to me, it's clear. I know why the nest came. There was a psagili. I don't know why, but I know that there was a gilui that came from the Nasi. There's a Baruch She'asa Nisim, and the shluchim of the Medina is like the mezuzah of the Medina. And if the mezuzah is beseder, so the Indian is beseder, we know the tzaddik. When tzaddik comes to place, there's a hashpah of bracha. So shluchim of a tzaddik come to place. I don't know why. Again, why here? Besach nish. This is my ma'isa.
Beautiful.
It should be it should continue Mitzvah Hashem. We should continue. It should be nimshach all over.
And you still have your same shluchim and in Koh Samui?
Yeah. Everybody's at their place. Just they're dealing just with local Jews now, not with travelers.
Chiang Mai also.
Nobody left. Everybody's at their post.
Doing a beautiful job. I was there a few times. Thank you.
Anyway, now I've got to go because I think it's the shkia already after the mincha. All the best.
Thank you.
Be well.
Oh, nice to speak to you.
Bye-bye.